Everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Well, we're here with our insurance talk with Priest Insurance again. This is a show that we play every Monday at 4 p.m. where we talk about insurance, different components, any changes that are going on, and let you know exactly what's happening in the insurance industry, because we all know it's changing and storms come and go, and before you know it, we'll be talking about that season,
I guess,
again, and talking about getting everything in line. But today Dan's here with us again, and we're going to talk about property insurance. We've been talking about vehicle insurance, and now we're talking about property insurance, and there's different aspects of property insurance. You said there's windstorm and flood, and there was something else you talked about.
Well, yeah, it depends on where you are and how that's made up. But flood is always flood, and it's covered through FEMA or some private carriers. And then the homeowner's portion or your dwelling fire portion, depending on the occupancy of the house, will cover traditional things like fire, lightning, wind, hurricane, hail. And if you're on the coast, windstorm and hail are pulled out, and you get that in a separate policy. Today, maybe we talked about a little bit about what's happening with windstorm. Specifically TWIA recently, and today we're going to talk about what's going on in the fire markets. And
is it changing because of fires that are happening, or the home construction, or?
There are a lot of factors. We've talked about what's going on and why prices are going up, but specifically there's another thing that's happening. The property markets are what is going through what is considered a very hard market right now. And that is for a number of reasons. But, the last couple of years, there have been a lot of catastrophes. It didn't really hit us, so to speak.
Right.
But the property market is broader than our own market here
our
in
little
Southeast
piece
Texas.
of paradise down here.
So, I know that Louisiana's having a lot of trouble. The carriers have backed out of those markets. Florida's having issues, and that is kind of spilling over here. We've recently had some property carriers that have just shut down in this market, and some of that goes on a little bit because of the pricing changes. So it's not only that carriers have this fear of what can happen if you get a major catastrophe, but property values go up, and every time somebody takes on a new house, let's say you take on a $100,000 property, the carrier needs to set aside a certain amount of money,
right,
to pay for claims. And at some point, the exposure that is there begins to outweigh the reserve. So they react through the raising of rates. They react through shutting down and closing down options, that's kind of what's happening now. Fewer and fewer companies are writing property insurance coverage, and those that are, you're seeing premiums that are going up. People maybe that have been underpriced or having to push their rates up, or they're just shutting down and forcing people to go to other companies.
Are there other companies? And what's the options if you're with a carrier and they say, hey, we're not going to cover this area anymore? What are your options, and what do you have to do?
Then you move. And then so that creates additional burden on a new carrier.
Right.
We do have some specific markets that are really, really good. And you can always do things like adjust deductibles. You can do that. You can reduce coverage. That's an option. But to do that, you really need to understand what you're doing. So talk to us, talk to your current person about what your options are. We do have some very, very good options for people if they want to look at them. And
okay.
But it does require maybe you change a deductible. Sometimes deductibles have different prices with different carriers. Sometimes we've talked about water coverage before.
Right.
So, we have coverage that may be for the entire house. If you have a $200,000 house, we may have $200,000 in coverage for discharge. You could buy that down for a little less premium. It's not necessarily saying that's the wise thing to do or the best thing to do, but it is an option to discuss.
Is it something that people need to check? How often, if a carrier is going to stop covering that area, how much warning do they give you?
Well, the agent will know about that, and we'll go through the rewrite process with that. There were one just shut down the end of last month. just in the past couple of weeks. So we're actually experiencing a delay in being able to obtain quotes, because when that carrier shut down, it moved people to other places.
And so
those
up.
people that develop those quotes are backed up. So it's slowing down our turnaround time a little bit.
Is there anything people can do in advance in case, with these companies shutting down or not carrying insurance in certain areas? Is there anything that a homeowner could do, go into their agent or you and saying, look, I don't want to have to worry about home insurance. Is there a company that I know is going to stay there, or other options so they don't have to worry?
There are some options, but again, it is fluid, and it's not just a one and done kind of thing. We do move around based on those things here locally.
Right.
Off the coast, when you move off the coast and into more traditional type markets, I would advise people staying with A-rated carriers that are part of the TDI.
And I asked you when we were talking on the phone, so where's the cheapest home insurance? Where can I move that in home insurance? And you said, well, this area is not bad, but you might think about over here.
Oh, that was yeah.
Yeah, and I was just wondering about, is there areas, because once you get off the coast, then you run into Tornado Alley and stuff. And so there's really not an area that's safe altogether.
There's something everywhere, right?
Yeah.
There's something, but there are places that have lesser property rates than others.
Yeah. So if people want to get hold of you, how can they get hold of you? Maybe to talk about insurance or some options. Maybe they got a notice that their carrier is going to shut down and want to talk to you about their options.
Well, you should review your policies annually anyway.
Right.
Take a look and talk to your agent, at least on a short phone call. We do that regularly. You can reach us at 409-755-7600 or priestinsuranceenagency.com.
Yeah, and they've got a great group of people at the office. They're in Lumberton, but they do come down here and they do work down here. Dan and his family's had ties down here for 40 years. 50 some years. And he survived a storm like Ike and rebuilt his home because of the insurance coverage he had. So for more information on insurance, give Priest Insurance Agency a call. A great group of gals that take care of everyone. And they're in here periodically doing a show, and so it's usually a fun time when they come down, or if you run into them at a restaurant. But we're going to head on out. Remember, we have this show, Insurance Talk with Priest Insurance, every Monday at 4 p.m., where we're talking insurance, coastal insurance, and what's going on in the insurance industry. You can see us here on our social media channels, but make sure you go to our YouTube channel, like it, follow it, and hit the bell so you get notified when Bolivar Live is live on YouTube. You can also download our new free TV channel, Bolivar Live TV on Roku and Amazon Fire. It's a free download. Just type in the search Bolivar Live TV, download it, and you'll be able to watch us here. We've got some new shows that we're fixing to add next week, talking about music, and then some of our live feeds that we're going to do will just be on YouTube and our Bolivar Live TV, so make sure you check it out. Dan, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Monday with another show, Insurance Talk with Priest Insurance. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. Priest Insurance Agency has been located in the heart of Lumberton, Texas since 2001, providing a consultative approach and educating customers on how their insurance works for them throughout the coastal region of Texas. Priest Insurance specializes in the coastal region of Texas, covering home, auto, business, and recreational insurance. With ties to the coastal communities, Dan Priest has had the sand between his toes since 1972, with a home on Bolivar Peninsula in Galveston County. He survived a storm named Ike, but lost his home. With insurance coverage, his family was able to rebuild following the 2008 storm and continues to make memories beachfront. Priest Insurance specializes in the coastal communities, family dwellings, investment property, and business insurance. They've been there. Whether you're looking for or have a family retreat along the Texas coast, investment property, or a business, Priest Insurance would be honored to work with you and your family to make sure you're covered anytime trouble arises. For more information on Priest Insurance and their contact information, please visit their website at www.priestinsuranceenagency.com, or their office is open for phone calls with questions and consultation Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. by calling 409-755-7600. Priest Insurance Agency, working and educating customers, making sure they understand and have the coverage they deserve.